Folks, even conservatives have their limits on what they're willing to defend within their own Republican Party. And conservative Daily Beast writer Matt Lewis apparently hit his limit when Donald Trump Jr. recently attacked Ukrainian President Zelensky. After he came and did his address to Congress, you had a couple Republicans, Matt Gaetz and Lauren Boebert, who refused to stand. We wouldn't applaud for this guy. But during his speech, Zelensky, of course, asked for more aid from the United States, and we have sent billions and billions of dollars over there. And apparently that pisses Donald Trump Jr. off, as if it's like coming from his own personal trust fund. So, recently, Jr. got on Twitter and said, quote, "Zelensky is basically an ungrateful international welfare queen." That's the line, apparently, that set conservative writer Matt Lewis off. And in a piece for the Daily Beast this past week, Lewis had this to say, firing back at Donald Trump Jr. Put aside the irony of this trust fund Nepo baby calling someone else a welfare queen. The bigger irony is that we are at the end of 2022, a year in which Zelensky's refusal to flee Ukraine ahead of a Russian invasion probably constitutes the most significant act of bravery and heroism. The term welfare queen was popularized in 1976 when Ronald Reagan described Illinois newspaper accounts of a Chicago woman named Linda Taylor who bilked the government out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Although Taylor could credibly be called a real-life villain, whose alleged sins were far worse than a mere welfare fraud, the term became commonly used as a racist stereotype to suggest that African Americans on public assistance are all lazy con artists. And I decided to include that last part just to remind everybody of where that term came from. And that's what Matt Lewis, of course, was doing as well. Now, he's right. Zelensky could have fled. I mean, we all remember when he came out and said, I don't need a ride, I need backup. That was pretty hard. You got to admit, that was pretty hardcore. And he has held his ground. He has stood firmly against a country that is much better equipped, that is much larger. And he's done it, of course, with a lot of help and aid from the United States. And we can argue back and forth all day about whether or not we need to send more aid, send less aid, whatever it is, because we've sent a lot. We've sent a lot, and, we don't really know what the end goal is here other than to protect Ukraine from being taken over by Russia. But again, that is all. You can have your opinion on that, but either way, we do have to help. Right? I don't think that part's debatable. We can't just sit back and let Russia overtake our ally here. That's not okay. But Zelensky, love him or hate him, he's proven what a leader needs to be. You need to be strong. You need to be tough. And part of that strength comes from knowing that you have to go approach your allies and you have to ask them for help. Asking for help is probably one of the strongest things you can do. And that is what Zelensky did, and Donald Trump Jr. doesn't understand that. He doesn't understand it because he's never been in that situation. Everything he has ever wanted in his life has been handed to him, as Matt Lewis is basically pointing out. He is a nepotism baby. He's got a massive trust fund. He has built his entire life based around having the same name as his father. He's never had to work for anything. He's never had to fight. So he doesn't know what it's like to have to be a leader to anyone. Now, Lewis did continue here. Today's American right perversely admires the likes of Donald Trump, Kanye West, and in some cases, Vladimir Putin, while mocking and attacking a heroic leader and resistor of Russian aggression like Zelensky. I suspect Ronald Reagan would have liked and admired Zelensky. The two former actors might have gotten along swimmingly. But that likely wouldn't matter to today's Republican Party, a party that probably wouldn't respect Reagan to begin with. Now, Lewis, of course, is doing the standard Republican thing, invoking Reagan, who before Trump came along was the golden child of the GOP. Reagan was a bastard. He was a horrible president that did a lot of horrible things, and as Lewis pointed out, like a lot of racist things too. Like, you're defending him now when you basically just explained how he got so racist, and that's what helped him win. But either way, he is right about Zelensky. He is right about Junior, the trust fund Nepo baby. And believe me, that is a phrase that I'm going to add to my lexicon because I absolutely love it as a takedown for the know-nothing, never accomplished anything, Donald Trump Jr. Hi, everyone. This here is little Athena. And Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet. So please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.